Welcome back to the KSSR space program. We just got done landing on the moon and planting the flag and totally beating that other space program. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to go back, but with a bit of a different design. But before that, I want to pick up some contracts. The design we're going to be going with now is going to be a direct ascent vehicle. So we're going to have the ability to do some precision landings, and there's one particular spot I want to land at. We're also going to move on to Minmus pretty soon here, so I'm going to pick up the contract for that. And I want to cancel some of these out and see if I can rotate another plant the flag on the moon into the contract rotation. So let me skip through a couple of these real quick, because that's going to be a one-star contract for us. Yeah, nothing. Alright, oh well. Alright, so now we're going to design a direct ascent lander based off of what would have been the LK-700 vehicle. This is a design that, in real life, the Soviets came up with, and it proceeded all the way to like a mock-up prototype of the lander, and the ascent vehicle and everything. But the rocket they were going to use to send this monstrosity to the moon never ended up getting finished, so didn't really go anywhere. But we're going to use our one of our existing boosters to send this up. So stand by while I do a little bit of a build here. Okay, so now we have our Siri 2 mission assembled, which is going to be our direct ascent vehicle, and our N1 stack here is going to absolutely be massive overkill for this lander, but that's fine. There's no kill like overkill. That's how we do it in the KSSR. Just throw a bigger booster on it and hope for the best. Alright, so while we're up in space, I'm going to go through and collect a round of science experiments. Just for, we'll get the contract completion credit. And maybe a little bit of diminishing returns on a couple of these. And we'll collect that all in. Alright, and just to make sure that our EVA hatch isn't blocked. Alright, that is good. Grab an EVA. Okay, good. So we'll actually be able to get back in once we land on the moon. Kind of important. So again, the N1 booster, with this mod set, is a bit overpowered. In reality, this vehicle that the Soviets designed would have been extremely heavy. And they designed a booster to go with it. I think it was called the UR700. It was ridiculous. It was this, like, three-sided, multi-stage, multi-part asparagus booster. It would have been, like, the largest and most powerful rocket ever built by an order of magnitude. Had it, been approved and all that stuff. The thing was ridiculous. You gotta go find, like, pictures of it online and the diagram of how it was supposed to work. The engineering on it was amazing. But, if you thought, like, the N1 or the Saturn V, or, like, the new, whatever SpaceX is calling their new one now, the BFG, whatever, BFR, whatever they're calling it now, was an expensive rocket. I mean, that UR700 would have been a whole other order of magnitude of an expense report. Alright, let's get ourselves into a D-orbit, or into a deceleration burn to get into orbit. Okay, and because this is a direct ascent vehicle, we don't necessarily have to do, like, equatorial orbits. I'm only going to do one more moon landing with this. But, like, we could visit all those other Easter eggs on the moon. And if you watched my stock career playthrough, you've seen quite a few of those already. There are a lot of interesting things to see and do on the surface of the moon. And the advantage of a direct ascent vehicle is that you don't have to worry about, like, coming back up for a rendezvous or anything like that. It's, the landing is a lot easier. The disadvantage, on paper at least, is that you need a bigger booster to actually, like, get there. There we go. To actually get your direct ascent vehicle to where you want to go. Let's do... Yeah, I guess we'll do that one. There might even be a little surprise waiting for us there. We'll see. I don't know. I've always thought this was a really aesthetically pleasing kind of a spacecraft design. And this this layout, like, with these landing legs and stuff, like, this is what they were going to do. This was the thing. Kind of a strange design, but that's okay. We've seen stranger stuff go out and actually fly and get out into space. Did I get that already? I did. Get my crew report. Alright, we're going to pull all that in. Oh, and just for good measure, yeah, we'll put out our comms dish, because we can. And let's get... Oh, I thought I swapped Jeb for Val. Oh, well. Alright, we'll do an EVA around the moon. Just for good measure. Alright, now... let's get our direct ascent landing going. And I should have used more RCS thrusters. Alright, that's good to know for Mark II. Add more RCS. You know, thinking about it now, looking at my fuel reserves, there is a good chance that I should have kept the third stage with me a little bit longer. I burned through my descent stage a lot quicker than I expected. What I'm in now is supposed to be my landing stage. And it doesn't have a whole lot of Delta V. So we may end up in an abort scenario. But that's fine. That happens. Yeah, I'm looking at the Delta V, and I think we are definitely going to end up in an abort scenario. Like, no question. But if nothing else, it'll let me validate the upper stage of this design. Yeah, so, okay. We have run out of Delta V in our landing stage, so we are going to be in... We're going to be in full abort. Alright, so this is going to be our... This would be our return stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an abort back to orbit. And then a deorbit burn to Kerbit. This was a rehearsal. This was a rehearsal. It was deliberate. We did it like this on purpose. This was a rehearsal landing. We deliberately didn't take that third stage with us. We didn't want our crew to get tempted or anything like that to go down. Where's verifying our sub-assemblies and all that good stuff. Yep. We're verifying our heat shield and all that. It's all good. And what we've learned from this totally not an abort scenario, at least that's what we're going to tell the public, is that we need to add more RCS and keep that third stage for longer. Alright, we'll do a little Kraken insurance. Okay, everything is going as planned, comrade. Everything is going as planned. Uh-oh. Our capsule's trying to tip around. Oh, it's because of the... It's because of the science container. It's throwing off the center of gravity. Uh-oh. That might turn into an issue. That's what happens when you clip inside of your command pod. Alright, looks like it worked out fine once we were actually in the atmosphere. Right, we'll pop our drogue chute. And then go in for a conventional landing. Everything proceeding according to plan. This was always intended to be a dress rehearsal mission. Yep, that's the story. Our brave heroes absolutely did not run out of Delta V. The mission profile was exactly what was intended. Okay, so we're going to try that. We're going to do that again, exactly as we intended to do. But I'm going to take a moment and check the contracts again. Yeah, still not getting another contract that I was kind of hoping for, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Alright, let's go back in and make some minor tweaks to our direct ascent vehicle. Okay, this is the real mission. This is the real launch. Now that we've finished with the dress rehearsal, now we'll go through and do the actual landing, as was planned the whole time. With our correct crew, some additional RCS, and we'll be a little smarter with our staging. Okay, here we go. Okay, this looks like a much better descent for our landing on our moon arch here. Just do another quick little adjustment. There we go. Get our flight trajectory a little bit more optimized. Alright, cancel out our directional momentum using that nice little trick. Okay. Alright, there is our arch right there. So we're in a good spot. Oh, forgot our RCS, minor detail. We're a little wobbly, because this is still a big chunk of heavy dead weight. Alright, I am hoping at this point that our descent stage is going to have what we need to get us down onto the arch. Going a little bit more this way. Let's check our trajectory again. Not ideal. We're actually burning through this a lot quicker than I expected. Little bit of a problem, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Alright, our landing stage here, thankfully, that should be sufficient delta V to get us down, even though our landing's going to be a little bit less precise than I wanted. Oh yeah, we're landing on a slope. I don't like that at all. Alright, I'm gonna try and land right over there. Yeah, that slope was a little bit too steep for my taste. This is a bit better. Yeah, this is much better. Still not really ideal, but much better. Okay. Oh no, and we're sliding all over the place. No, alright, there we go. Good, we're down. We're down. And we're going to Kraken insurance. Alright, first thing, let's get our science. Oh no, we're sliding around. I didn't want that. Alright, we're going to have to be quick then. It's risky. I'm thinking right now about if I want to try and blow some fuel and, like, stabilize this landing a little more, or if I want to risk... Nah, I'll just do it normal. Alright. We are on the lowlands. We will plant the flag. It's our first direct ascent landing on the moon. Alright, so now we are going to jump back up, get back in. And I want to give... in reality, this vehicle was supposed to have, like, ladders and stuff. I want to give our other crew members a chance to get out and touch the surface. Yay! Alright. And that way they'll level up and everything. And I also want to take a moment well, no, I think I'll have to just get it on the flyby. Because I'm not confident that this isn't going to slide down off that ledge. I don't like landing on slopes for for a lot of reasons. And this is one of them. It kind of stops me from exploring too far from the landing craft, because what happens a lot of the time is that when you go in a physics warp... Did that? Okay, yeah, see? Like, if I go into physics warp, look what's happening. And I don't want that. But anyway, this is what I was hoping to show you. They added a new Easter egg in a recent patch where this particular moon arch apparently is now a Stargate. This was added very recently. So you can kind of see there. I was going to try and land a little bit closer to give you a close-up look at that. But, yeah. One of the moon gates, one of the moon arches is now a Stargate. I guess they're doing a little prep for, like, KSP2 or whatnot. But, alright, off we go. And it is time to return home from our successful landing on the moon. And you know what else we can do? While I'm thinking of it, I can actually get an EVA report from Space Low. And this is how this vehicle was, you know, intended to return back to Earth. The Soviet design for it was literally for a direct descent, direct injection into a suborbital re-entry trajectory, which is that's a gutsy re-entry. I gotta say, they would have needed to have an enormous amount of faith in the ablative heat shield. That's why these things are tested before you send people in it. And one thing, you know, the Soviets were very adept at least after the failure with Soyuz 1, they got a lot more diligent about unmanned testing. You know, the first Buran shuttle flight, the only Buran shuttle flight, was actually done without any crew on board. And the intent was, for this LK mission, that it was going to be tested, you know, in an unmanned lunar landing before they sent any crew up. probably a good idea. I just realized my staging on the parachutes was wrong. Uh-oh. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. Okay. I had the main chute above the drogue chute. Minor detail. We'll fix that for the next launch. Functioning as intended. That was always the plan. And you know what? Did we ever bother? Yeah. All right. All right. Now, we've probably got a good amount of science from that. But we're going to do another mission with our direct ascent vehicle here. And this time, we're going to start going to Minmus. Because for what I have planned next, I need a whole bunch of extra science. 826. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. That is not going to be enough. So what we got to do, I got to try... Alright, we got a thing on Minmus. That'll be an extra 31 if we do it. Yeah, I think that'll... Oh, I maxed out on contracts. Oh my. You know what? I don't need any more of that. Yeah, I think I should be able to satisfy that. Alright, so now literally, I'm going to use the exact same design, and I'm going to send it over to Minmus. But this time, I might be able to hop around a little bit. And collect science from more than one biome. Wouldn't that be cool? Alright, let's send... We'll call this Zeleny 1. And I'm sure I'm pronouncing and Anglo-Romanizing those words completely wrong, but... Minor detail. If you recognize the naming scheme, you're cool. And we'll crake in insurance, and up we go. That was interesting. That little thing that just happened there. Alright, we'll try that again. Alright, I think I must have still been in the upper atmosphere or something, and lost a whole bunch of my a whole bunch of my momentum due to, like, atmospheric drag or some nonsense. That was a little strange. I'll have to go back and watch. But alright, so we're coming into Minmus here, and Minmus has such low gravity, it doesn't even matter, like, what our trajectory looks like coming into its sphere of influence. It takes, like, almost no delta V to course correct and get where we want to go on the surface of Minmus. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adjust a little bit and get myself into a polar orbit, or something closer to a polar orbit. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh. RCS got a little out of hand there. But again, no big deal. We got tons of delta V, tons of fuel. Okay, and this way, it'll be a little bit easier to do that precision landing when we come around. Yep, wrong way. There we go. I love using that time warp trick to cancel out my directional momentum there. Alright, now we're going to boost our orbit a little bit. Wrong way again. Because there's only two choices of which way to rotate, and of course I'm going to do it wrong on the first try, like 80% of the time. There we go, that's what we were going for. Alright, so we're just going to wait for our landmark there to sort of get back into a better trajectory. Oh, and you know what? Before we do that, we're going to take a moment and grab a whole bunch of science. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of science. Now I'm just going to time warp a little bit. I want to wait for that monolith to come around into the light. That'll just make it a little bit easier to see what we're doing when we're landing. If I was doing just a regular solo sort of a playthrough, I wouldn't bother with a lot of these Easter eggs. Yeah, you know what? I can just do it from here. I wouldn't be so picky about making sure I was landing in the light. Because I put... You might have noticed that I have a habit of putting excessive amounts of landing lights on my vehicles. And it's a habit because I frequently, I plan my landings for what's going to be easiest. But when I'm doing stuff for recording here, I try and do it like in the sunlight so you can actually see what's going on. Crazy concept, I know. Alright, so now let me cancel out my horizontal momentum, because we're like directly above where we want to go. Perfect. And once we get lower, we should even be able to see it. Because, yeah, we're still heading right for it. Maybe a little bit over in this direction. Alright, so I've adjusted my trajectory a bit. I should be coming down, like, right for it, but I haven't spotted it yet. What am I missing? Oh, it's right there. Whoop. Yeah, and it's going to take very little delta V to do what we're doing here. Because again, Minmus has very low gravity. So we can play around and correct our landing trajectory and everything a lot easier than we did on the moon. And we also have the issue that Minmus rotates a little bit quicker, or it rotates under us a little bit more impactfully than the moon does. So we have to be a little bit more conscious of that as we're on our way down. So we can't, like, completely cancel out all of our directional momentum. We have to retain a little bit of it. Nice, gentle landing. Alright, we're still on a little bit of an incline. We're going to slide around a little bit. But that is a lot less of a problem on Minmus than it is on the moon. So, I'm honestly not going to care. I'm just going to grab all my science. Get our crew report. Alright, now we're going to send Valentina out. Alright, touch the surface. We'll have her do EVA and take a sample. In we go. Alright, Bill's turn. Bill is going to go plant the flag. And he's going to do it over at our Easter egg here. So that should get us our contract completion. And if for whatever reason the waypoint for the contract isn't set right, I'll just cheat the contract out. As much as I hate to do it. But, you know, I mean, we're here. We're doing the contract. That's the mod that I use for the custom contracts. It's called Contract Configurator. It's not flawless. I mean, it's really good, but it's not completely flawless. All right, there we go. Whoop. We'll plant our flag. First landing on Minmus. Alright, now we'll head back, and now I'm gonna try something that might end up being a little risky. We'll see. Now there's an additional little bit of a silver lining in terms of Minmus here. Because the gravity is so low, we can get quite a lot of delta V out of not a lot of fuel. And additionally, because the gravity is so low, we don't even really need, like, landing legs. So I could technically land this flat-bottomed return stage, in some random place on Minmus. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to look around. Alright, you know what? I'm going to set Mina 3 as a target. I'm going to try and ascend and go land over here on the flats. I'm going to do a hop. And Mina 3 there is going to be a reference point for me, because that's kind of generally the direction I want to go. Now see, look at that. That didn't take me very much delta V at all. And it's not going to take me much to safely land this. So I'm going to warp over there. And I mean, I could have done that a little bit more optimally, but this will be fine. Alright, Minmus went, it moved a little bit, rotated under us. That's okay. Let me get my directional bearings. Okay, so this is a really good spot. We can probably land here and even get some science from the slopes. And still have plenty of delta V to return to Kerbin. This is risky, but I think it's worth the risk, because the science rewards will be absolutely enormous. And I'm going to Kraken Insurance just for good measure. And we're just going to land on RCS. Nice. Alright, so now we can grab a whole second round of science. I'm not going to bother planting a flag or anything. But for not much Delta V, look at all this extra science we're going to get. I am extremely fond of doing like little science hopper sort of missions like this. Oh, I gotta retrieve that back. Alright, we can do a couple of things here. We can get EVA report and take a surface sample. Alright, now check this out. I'm going to deposit all my experiments, right? Well, I'm just going to jump and get an EVA report in the air, and that'll count as an EVA report from space above the Greater Flats. How cool is that? Alright. Now, I'm going to try... Let me deselect my target there. Oh, no, I already did. Okay. Oh, no, there we are. Alright, I am going to try and go directly north and do another controlled landing up on those slopes. This is a risky operation, but I think it's worth it, because if I can get all these science experiments over onto the slopes, that'll give us a huge round of science. Alright, looks like it's going to be lowlands, not slopes, but that's fine. That's fine. I don't think we have science from the lowlands captured. Oh, 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 oh. It's okay. It's okay. All right. All right, crew report. Good, good, good. All right, now let's grab a whole extra round of science. Okay, now I'm going to do one quick little test. I want to see if it's actually going to be another biome if I get over onto the hill. Normally this area, like where the flats end and the hills begin, normally this is this ends up counting as the slopes biome. And it's normally changed by now, so it looks like it's not gonna. It was worth taking a quick check. All right, so now we'll get Valentina back in, and we'll do our ascent back to Kerbin. And we should easily have enough Delta V to get ourselves back to Kerbin. We should. Alright, so we're ready for re-entry, and we've fixed our staging on our parachutes. Minor detail. Okay, that is more like it. Look at that Monty Hall of Science there. That's how we do it. And all that funding we got. Yep, that's how we do it. So that is about going to wrap it up for this episode. We've landed on the moon with our direct descent vehicle. We had our practice mission. Then we landed like we intended. Then we went to Minmus and bounced around and got a whole bunch of science. So make sure to check out the next episode to see what is next, as we're nearing the end of the KSSR space program. As always, thanks for watching.